Hey there. Welcome to this Pick a Card tarot reading that is entirely focused on the song When You're Gone by Shawn Mendes. For those of you who might not know, it's a song about how the ending of a relationship is a lot harder in practice than it is in theory, and realizing that whoever you lost won't be there to help you through it. So for me, this song brought up so many emotions that I did not expect to experience. I'm 46 years old, happily married, but it brought up emotions from as far back as high school, if you can believe that. The song is really applicable to any type of relationship that a person isn't ready to be without, whether it's a romantic relationship, a relationship with a pet that passed away, really any relationship that you've had, or even one that you might currently still be in. So I came up with this reading based on the lyrics of When You're Gone so that others could hopefully work through their emotions that this song brings up. So be prepared to dig into some tender issues and keep in mind that while these cards may provide perspective, your choices and actions provide the true meaning of your situation. You have control of your life and you get to make your own decisions about how to feel about it and how to live it. So before we make magic happen, feel free to pause this video and listen to the song to tap into the feelings that it brings up for you. When you connect with those feelings, choose the pile of cards that you're drawn to for your reading. If it helps you to connect with like a stone as opposed to the deck, then you can, you know, see which of these figurines is calling out to you. You can choose multiple piles if there are a lot of layers you want to uncover, and I'll put a link to each of the readings in the description box below so that you can jump to the reading of your choice whenever you want. So for pile number 1, we have the Light Seer's Tarot and this Howlite elephant. So Howlite is considered a soothing stone. It helps to calm an overactive mind, neutralize fiery emotions, and it helps with thinking objectively and to consider all factors when dealing with challenging communications. For pile number 2, we have Modern Witch Tarot deck and this Ghost Labradorite. So Labradorite helps to stabilize like flip-flopping thoughts, to restore energy, and it illuminates lessons you need to learn from past experiences, basically. For pile 3, we have the Pulp Tarot and Green Aventurine Owl. So Aventurine, that promotes like decisive action, encourages advancing past obstacles that might be in your way, and promotes strength and positive reflection. That basically allows you to heal old wounds and let go of what's not serving your best interests. And in pile number 4, we have Cute Cat Tarot and this Black Obsidian Dog. So Obsidian promotes courage to explore the unknown, release whatever isn't serving you, and seeking truth. So tune into your feelings, choose your cards, and let's get to it. This is the reading for those that picked group number 1 with the Light Seer's Tarot and Howlite elephant. So we're going to start off by pulling 3 oracle cards here. Find out what this song brings up for you. We have frustration, abundance, and energy. So for some of you, this was like a really passionate relationship that you thought was pretty much all that in a bag of chips. But there were aspects of your relationship where things just didn't go smoothly. And over time, it seems that you can't fit a rectangular peg into a round circle. So it seems like there might be some lingering energy around that frustration, because it's not that any of these cards indicate something was broken. It just didn't fit together well enough. So let's get some more detail here. So I'm going to start off by asking the tarot cards how this song reminds you of something you once had. You have the Hierophant here. So the Hierophant is about, a connection with a higher knowledge, something greater than yourself. So basically it seems that, it's almost as if all the good stuff, all the highlights, the things that you connected with in a positive way is what this song does for you. Like the potential of kind of believing in a connection that was greater than just you and made you feel good, made you feel like some type of purpose. So let's see, how good did you have it? You have the Devil card. So the Devil card is, when it comes to relationships, it could be a codependent relationship, basically feeling that you needed that person to accomplish certain goals, to be happy. You need to be with that person, to make a decision about, what you wanted for your own personal career. It really required that person to help you to, what's the word? Not condone, almost like bless the decisions that you made. So I'm going to get clarification of this Devil. And you have the King of Cups. So here, it could be that you really had an open heart. You really, wore your heart on your sleeve and almost kind of It's not like you were emotional or emotionally needy, but somehow the person that you were with, basically, and I see this as more of, a relationship with a person as opposed to a pet. Um, the person that you were with was really working um, you in a way that it was almost as if to not get your emotions out of place, but really working hard to um, to be steady for them as well. So it could be that you were fine about things, like you were, solid as a rock. Um, you're someone that is compassionate. You're someone that cares, um, and really wants, the best for everyone in the situation, and are willing to, I guess, give and possibly overgive. So it could be that the person that you lost really um, showed you a sense of need so much that you almost mirrored that behavior, so that they actually needed your permission. And so you kind of saw that's the way that they operated. And so you tried to, it's almost you mirrored that, but that's not you. Um, and it could be, this fitting the rectangular peg into the round hole. You were trying to um, be whatever you needed to be for that person because you are steady with your emotions. You do care. And you have the ability to kind of, you know, adjust to your environment. With the King of Cups, it's like um, the kings are associated with the element of air, which is about communication. It's about reasonable thought. It's about truth and clarity. Um, with the cups, water, the element of water, it flows. So you were able to flow and be whatever you needed, and you used your thinking, your decision making ability to say, I can flow in the way that they want me to flow, and I can mirror the way that they are, um, because you are that centered, but it started to be where you kind of mirroring their needs made it seem like, you know, you were using your energy in a way that wasn't beneficial for your best and highest good. So let's take a look at what was slipping through your fingertips. You have the Two of Cups, and you have the Justice card here. So Two of Cups is about a relationship. You can see even there's fingertips here in this Two of Cups. They're two hands like held together and intertwined. So it was a sense of basically your connection. Um, it could be that you were filling up their cup more than they could fill up their own, because you have that much to give. Um, and with the Justice card, it's almost as if you see the two cups here are similar to these cups on this scale. It's supposed to be a scale that's being held by the sword here. So it's a sense of like, it was like you were trying to balance the relationship by giving more than you had. And it was really messing with the kind of the karma there, or the give and take of the relationship, the cause and effect. If you're giving everything, then you're being depleted of everything. And, I say everything, to be very clear about the roles, but obviously there's a lot that exists between all and nothing. So here it just seems like what was slipping through your fingertips was the actual connection, the actual, union, the partnership. And it became very much just like about the cause and effect, the what are you willing to put in and what are you going to get out of it. So let me pull one more card here. So it seems, the main issue is almost like this ability to see things clearly, which is, in a relationship, there's two people together. They actually, in theory, put in what they want out of it. And you may have been putting in too much of it and not getting that same in return. And you can see in this Justice card, it's really interesting because it's as if the person is looking in a mirror and seeing a different person. And it could be that once you were kind of, giving that much, and being, mirroring almost that neediness behavior, that need for approval, that codependency, it's almost as if you were no longer the sense of you coming into this relationship that you were before. So let's see, how do you learn to cope? You have the Four of Wands and Five of Swords. So it seems it's almost as if you are going through this kind of a back and forth, really enjoying your freedom, enjoying life to the extent you can, celebrating certain successes in your life. But then there's, moments when you are reflecting and thinking, who was it that was right in this? And really kind of wondering who should have walked away, or who won, or who didn't walk away, or who gave up. Things that really almost just don't matter, in the sense that if something's not serving your best interest, there's no point in pursuing it. So let's see, how do you protect yourself? I'm going to move this because I still got more to come out. Okay. So how do you protect yourself? You have the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is the 12th card in the Major Arcana, and it comes after the Justice card. And it comes before the Death card. The Death card is about release and transformation. The Hanged Man is almost in that the cocoon stage of the butterfly before they transform, and almost kind of letting things change inside of them, and preparing for that transformation, preparing for the release, and kind of really seeing things from a different perspective of what you know, like what took place. Um, it's basically a pause. It's a place for not just total inaction, but definitely just releasing, and not struggling against things that are outside of your control, and allowing a new perspective of a situation to come in. And it's almost as if, this individual here is looking into a pool of water and looking at, the emotions that they experienced brought up in other people, and kind of trying to go through this process without their ego being attached. So let me pull another card here. You have the Magician. So it's really kind of a way to refocus, um, release, really to prepare releasing what's not the good parts of you that you inherited in that relationship, you kind of took on in that relationship, and trying to transfer that energy of the relationship into something positive for your future and for yourself. The Magician is about having the skills and the talent and the resources to manifest into reality what they want. So it's about being able to be aware of their surroundings and their wants and their needs enough to do all those things. And they also have to be able to communicate well with themselves and with the universe and others around them in order to make those things happen. So, really, you protect yourself by finding your own peace within this the past relationship, seeing what truly matters, and just like not struggling about what, against what you couldn't control, and focusing on what you can control, which is your own future, your own focus and energy and attention going forward. So let's see, how do you move on? You have the Six of Pentacles here. That's about really balancing your wants and needs. Here you can see on the Magician here on the hood, and kind of in the card there's like a figure 8, and here in this Six of Pentacles there's like a figure 8 being drawn as well. It's this concept of, eternity, just kind of keeping this flow going here. And this flow is about understanding wants and needs. So basically, it's you move on by doing it slowly, it seems, and focusing really on what you can control and what you want for yourself. And, for some of you, maybe helping others, because it seems like you have a big heart, maybe even getting involved in a charitable organization, tutoring someone. If you have the financial means, perhaps, donating to a certain charity, and basically recognizing what it is you want in life, but kind of focusing on the needs of yourself and of other people, and helping to the extent you can. So let's see how it turns out, all for the better. You have the Lover's card here. So I don't see this as a coming back of this relationship. It's possible, but this is really focusing on releasing and being having the will to focus on what you want to create. And what you want to create is a true union with someone, where there is a mutual investment of, being the best person you can be, and, wanting to be a better person because of who you're with, and that person wanting that same thing. And this is like a true commitment on both sides for the, long term. And you really do need to kind of be able to communicate well. You need to be able to communicate honestly. And you need to, have a certain sense of, definitely morals and ethics involved in that. But really, this turns out for the better because you have learned more about yourself, what you can accept, what you won't accept, and what you want for your future for yourself, and when it comes to committed relationships of every kind. So I'm going to pull a couple more oracle cards here just to see, number one, what can you kind of focus on to get, keep on healing in a good way. You have resolving anger. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. So here, if you had issues with anger, I don't see that being a potential in here, except for this Five of Swords, which is kind of a sense of winning at all costs. But anger is not something you should necessarily ignore or shove down. Those are valid feelings, and it's basically, one way to sense that you are not okay with something, and you might not have been okay with it for a while. So that's something to keep in mind going forward. I'm going to pull one final card to see which keeper of the light can help guide you as you move forward. You have Isis, magic, manifesting. We got the Magician here. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. So definitely, Isis can really help you to remind you, releasing what's, you can't control, which is this past, and focus on what you can control. And this is pretty much letting you know that your visions of the future for yourself and the person that you connect with, emotionally, with your soul, with your spirit, your heart, that is all ahead of you. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. This is the reading for group number 2 with Modern Witch Tarot deck and the Ghost Labradorite. Okay, so we're going to start off by pulling 3 oracle cards to see what the song brings up for you. You have pain, anxiety, and isolation. Whoa, those are heavy. So, definitely, if it gets to be more than you can handle, um, definitely talk to someone that you trust. Talk to, counselor, a mentor, someone that you know will be there for you. But we're going to start off by seeing how this song reminds you of something you once had. You have Four of Pentacles, which is a sense of stability and security, and kind of a start of like financial independence. But it could be that, maybe this relationship, you were kind of managing your finances, you were kind of on your way to, getting some money saved, paying for bills, paying for rent, things like that, where you kind of were starting to feel secure about yourself. But with this Four of Pentacles, it's almost as if this, individual is kind of protecting it as much as possible. They have their feet on the pentacles, it's on their head, it's, covering their chest. So it's almost as if it was a sense of security that you were holding on really tightly to. So how good did you actually have it in this relationship? You have the Three of Wands. So it seems that you thought you could take it pretty far, that you saw potential success for your future. Maybe even, discussed moving together somewhere. So let's see, how was it slipping through your fingertips? You have the Three of Cups and you have the Moon. So for some, it seems like it could involve other people. Perhaps it involved, friends that were kind of, what's the word? Instigating things. Maybe if there was, comments made to, make, to influence the relationship in some way. And a sense of really a lack of clarity, and almost for some of you, it could be that, somebody's wild side kind of was getting released. Um, for for others of you, maybe there was actually cheating involved. So I'm going to pull one more card here. And at the core of it, it was a sense of new feelings. So this still kind of is in line with, cheating was involved, and possibly even, it could be, if there was no actual cheating, it could be that there was some type of interest that was developing for someone else. But this kind of sense of, a connection of love, of having this, like, gift from the universe, that was a big issue in terms of you both feeling that. So let's see, how do you learn to cope? You have Six of Wands, and you have the Justice card. So it seems for some of you, it's really almost kind of you're doing as much as possible to not feel, things. You are really looking at things logically. You're trying to stay balanced. You're trying to be reasonable. You're trying to kind of maybe succeed in your career. Maybe you even moved. Um, so it's basically you're learning to cope by doing what I guess is expected to be done in this situation. A sense of balance and moving forward, and it seems like you're doing that. So how do you protect yourself? You have the Four of Swords. And this is kind of really taking time for yourself, um, being able to clear your head, being able to take time. Maybe you're sleeping more. Um, maybe you are trying to meditate, but you're really kind of still trying to process the, what went wrong, where did, the Four of Swords come after the Three of Swords, which is depicted as a heart with three swords kind of stuck through it. So Four of Swords is really kind of processing the disappointment, the upset, the hurt, possibly even betrayal. Um, so let's see, how do you move on? You have Knight of Wands. So it seems like really trying to find a way to deal with your um, emotions in a positive way. This could involve a lot of adventure, a lot of movement. So perhaps a job where you have to travel. Um, and also just like pursuing whatever it is that you're drawn to. This could be an individual, this could be a job, this could be a hobby, this could be, um, you know, uh, even cooking. Let's see here. I'm going to clarify that Knight of Wands, because the Knight of Wands sometimes is just all about the uh, the next thing, and not necessarily taking time to feel the things. It's almost as if they keep burning. They keep burning and churning and making things happen. So I'm going to clarify that. You have the Page of Pentacles. So here it seems like you are using this process, or you should use this process to actually learn things from your adventures, understand a new sense of value. So here you kind of have the Four of Pentacles, where you're looking to just be secure. It's almost like it's a statue almost, and just keeping what you already have. That's not really an abundant mindset. That's a, you know, um, I'm going to take what I have and put it in a jar and preserve it, put it under my bed or bury it so that no one else can have it. And here, the Page of Pentacles is more um, seeing things in a different way, almost honoring it and recognizing that what they invest, how they can, what they invest in finding more about the Pentacles or more about whatever's interesting to them, investing more in themselves, in their community, in their environment. Really, there's more potential, and you can kind of keep growing. So let's see, how does this turn out all for the better for you? You have Knight of Cups. So here it's basically, this is a slow process. I'm not going to say slow, because the Knight of Wands is pretty fast. Six of Wands is also kind of fiery. And I was wondering if we would see cups again in this layout, and we do. So this is kind of like a process for you to kind of get back to where you are comfortable communicating from the heart and ready to make offers of love, to receive offers of love. Here with the Four of Swords, it seems that this is a way to kind of work through the anxiety, pain, isolation. For some of you, perhaps if you are having a really hard time with these things, like I said, perhaps talk to a counselor. Four of Swords could indicate, counseling and maybe mental health professional, because the pain, anxiety, isolation, those don't seem amazing. Actually, I'm going to pull a card for the Four of Swords. See more about protecting yourself. You have the Three of Swords. Okay, so kind of like what I was saying, you're still processing it. And just this is the thing about the Three of Swords. So, like I said, there's these three swords going through this heart. And, in this depiction, you've got even this like black gunk at the bottom coming out. So here it seems like there is some type of betrayal over here. And these swords all indicate like thoughts and processing. So this could be anger. This could be upset. And this could be, what's the word? Shame. And it takes time to kind of process all those things. And here with the Four of Swords, this is still getting through and like still kind of processing what's going on. And there's no shame in like going to a counselor, talking to people that you trust about it, possibly not friends. And I don't know who did the cheating or, what over here. And it almost doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that, say no blame. I mean, it's not about blame. It's about understanding and understanding the lessons that you've learned. So it's probably fair to say, some people who are the cheater or end up feeling bad about it, and they carry it with them as well. So it's almost like no one gets away easy in those situations. But definitely because of those cards that up there, the pain, anxiety, isolation, and this kind of protection aspect, definitely, make sure that you are taking care of how your mind is processing this, because definitely you want to learn from this experience. You want to grow and keep growing. and get to this place of the Knight of Cups. And it seems like you will. So I'm going to pull a couple of oracle cards here to see how you can kind of keep this concept of healing going. You have allowing appreciation. The value of my life increases each time I appreciate everything in it. So yeah, definitely this Page of Pentacles, appreciation of everything in your life. And it's almost like there's a little pentacle on here. So I'm going to pull one final card. And this is an oracle card to see which keeper of the light can help guide you in your forward progression. You have Green Tara, Supreme Protection area here. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation. Trust. So here, this Green Tara is really connected with, the earth, and this concept of cords are being cut. It's a sense of, etheric cords, spiritual cords, cords of negativity, psychic cords, however you want to look at it, but being able to process through this and not live in the Three of Swords, but actually process it and see, what things were based on like reason analysis and kind of, what your expectations were, what, happened, and why it is that certain things happen the way they did. You're not going to find out everything, but it's okay. You are kind of breaking away slowly from the past. I said slowly again, didn't I? And this concept of really needing to grasp onto something and keep it and not let it change is kind of almost what you're learning from this. Is you constantly are moving forward and you appreciating and learning the value and invest. This is a reading for starting over. This is a reading for group number 3 who selected the Pulp Tarot and Green Aventurine Owl. So we're going to start off by pulling 3 oracle cards to see what this song brings up for you. You have pain, sweetness, and hunger. So here it's a sense of hurt, a sense of still wanting that, tenderness, that connection, and that vulnerability again. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards now. How does this song remind you of something that you once had? Ace of Wands. It really just gets you pumped. It's probably you feel like, your whole body is tingling. A sense of it kind of, it makes you feel, even though this isn't the cups, Ace of Cups, it's Ace of Wands, this is like the core of like the, fire, like the initial instinct. And it just makes you want to kind of just jump to your feet, makes you want to dance, but it also like makes you want to just like run out and do something. So let's see, how good did you have it? You have 8 of Pentacles. So it's a sense of really, you felt it was something you wanted to invest in for the future. And you thought that this was really something that would bring out your best, and that you would be able to kind of keep this going. Because you were really like dedicated to it. So how was it slipping through your fingers, through your fingertips? You have the Page of Swords and you have the King of Pentacles. Okay. So to some degree, there might have been a sense of, jealousy, a sense of maybe even a sense of immaturity, and not feeling that you're on the same page in terms of like what you both brought to the relationship. So I'm going to pull another card here. So here you have the King of Cups. So the biggest issue kind of seems to be like, who was the one that would make everything okay? Who was the one that didn't matter if there was a disagreement, it would kind of be the rock steady person who would be able to make, smooth things out and make things good all around. It's as if there was a sense of, I'm not sure if there was someone who wanted that role or didn't want that role, but it just wasn't something that was shared or done. So let me see, how do you learn how to cope? You have the Death card, and you have the Ten of Swords. Interesting. So Death card is about, not a literal death. For some it could be, but it's more about transformation and releasing what's no longer serving your best interests, and letting go of, things that weren't good for you. Ten of Swords is all about really hitting rock bottom. There's no turning back from that. For some people, it could be a betrayal. For others, it could just be, trying to solve a problem that's unsolvable. So it's as if you're learning to see things as you're really trying to transform. You're trying to let this go, possibly from, looking at it from this pain point of view. But, there's ups and downs in all relationships. So I'm gonna take a look at this Death card, because there's, on the traditional Death card, Death comes in on a horse, and there's, people having different reactions. There's, I think, like some king that's just like dead on the ground, just laid out. There's like a pope that's begging, trying to negotiate. There's a child that's like turned their face away so they don't have to look at death. And then there's a little kid that's looking up at death with a sense of wonder and awe. And it kind of reflects all the different ways that you can experience a loss or a change. Change is, isn't easy. Change is difficult. Letting go of things, even if it wasn't serving our best and highest good, perhaps it's served a level of comfort, served a level of our confidence. It's still difficult to let go of sometimes. So let's see what's going on with this death. You have the Hierophant here. It's about, could be for some of you, learning a major lesson about a connection with your higher self. It could be a connection with a belief of some sort that you had and giving up a certain belief. But for others, it's almost as if you might need to talk to an expert counselor, some sort, to kind of really help you process this. So let's see, how do you protect yourself? You have the Seven of Wands, and here you can pretty much see this person is holding a wand trying to protect themselves. And this card is about really having an inner conviction, knowing who you are, knowing what your desires are, and knowing what it's worth kind of fighting for going forward. So let's see, how do you move on? You have the Three of Swords. So you move on by working through those emotions, feeling those emotions. You might be experiencing anger, frustration, disappointment in different stages, maybe even guilt, maybe shame, maybe sadness, like all these different, and I know this is a swords card, but these swords are going through the heart, like literally depicting being going through the heart. So it's how you think about the emotions that really kind of are sticking. So it seems that moving on is you really dealing with it. Here I mentioned this kind of like going to a counselor, going to some mentor, some spiritual leader, mental health professional, someone that can help you kind of process it, because it seems to really have an effect. So how does it turn out all for the better? You have the Queen of Wands. This is about stepping into your power. It's about following your passions. It's about having a sense of confidence and almost being able to radiate a positive glow. And from these cards here, it's, how do you get from the Three of Swords, 10 of Swords, to the Queen of Wands? So that's different for everyone. So I'm going to just pull a couple of oracle cards here. This first card that I'm going to pull is about where to focus your healing, or an area to focus your healing. You have receiving elation. I am born of infinite joy. So if you've been really kind of stuck in this place of, thinking about what you lost, maybe how you know, couldn't fix it, it went a way that you didn't see coming, you still have all these thoughts about your feelings, remember that you have a sense of joy with you, a sense of passion for life, a sense of something else beyond whatever it was that you thought you had. And it's almost as if this song is bringing up this like spark to actually force you to pay attention to working through these so you can get to this Queen of Wands, where you can get to this, stepping into your power, your courage, and kind of doing what you want, marching to the beat of your own drum, dancing again. Yeah. So I'm going to pull one final card to see which keeper of the light can help you as you move forward. Okay. You have Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection, trust your inner voice. So here, it's almost as if these thoughts, this focus is really just a way to drown out your ability to connect with the people around you, your environment around you, and your intuition, your ability to kind of positively influence people. So here you have that ability. You have that ability to create a spark of energy, of joy, of happiness, of, to get people excited and happy and motivated. So here it's just a sense of just working through those things, and talking to someone that you trust, perhaps even, seeking out some type of ritual or practice that helps you kind of process it. Some meditative practice, some type of, yoga, where you get into like more focusing on your body, your sensations, and really kind of getting out of this mental space. But definitely the Three of Swords, that's something that takes time. And, for some people, they might need some help working through that. So I'm hoping this provides a helpful perspective, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. This is a reading for group number 4 with the cute cat Tarot and the Obsidian dog. So I'm going to start off this reading by pulling 3 oracle cards to find out what the song brings up for you. You have confidence, surrender, and ghost. Okay. So here, it's with the ghost, basically I take that to be the other person involved in this, or other entity involved in this relationship. For those that picked a pet, I'm thinking it's a pet that passed away. If it's a relationship, it's just basically the memory of that relationship. With the confidence and the surrender, it's almost a sense of just like understanding that that's not a part of your life anymore. And this confidence card is almost like it could be true confidence that things are getting better. And it also could be confidence that you're trying to kind of show to people because you're not quite feeling it, but you are going to try. So let's go ahead and get into some of these tarot cards. Okay, so let's see how this song reminds you of something that you once had. You have 9 of Swords. So it seems like it brings up, anxiety, overthinking things, possibly what could have been done differently. Why did it turn out that way? Could there have been something to save it? Was there, something missed? And that pretty much kind of is, maybe this even kind of affects your ability to, sleep. Maybe there's a sense of, nightmares, dreams that come up. So let's see, how good did you really have it when it was there? You have the 10 of Cups and the Hermit. So it seems like you really were happy. You were, able to kind of feel a sense of joy within yourself and your community. What's interesting about the 10 of Cups, the traditional 10 of Cups card, occurs on a stage, and it brings up the question of whether that is, it occurs on a stage. There's like a mother, father figure and kids dancing around, on a stage, and there's like a house in the background or something. Maybe it's a cottage. And basically, it calls into question whether that is supposed to reflect true happiness, someone's idea of happiness, or going through the motions to please someone else. And then you have this Hermit card, which is a sense of kind of isolation and withdrawal. So it could be that, one of you was really happy about their life and the other one was kind of slowly withdrawing. So let me pull one more card. It's almost as if like this concept of balancing like fun and responsibility and enjoyment of life and more serious matters, that was like an issue in the relationship. And general negotiation of what was going on, different factors involved. And that could even be like, who used the bathroom when, and kind of trying to just negotiate day-to-day things. So How do you learn to cope without them? You have the Empress and you have the Lovers. So, um, this is pretty good coping. The Empress is about feeling your emotions, your sensuality, confidence, love, beauty, connection with the environment, feeling a sense of abundance. And with the Lovers card, it's being able to, make decisions for the long term, um, to create a partnership, an actual meeting of the minds, communicating um, clearly and honestly. So those are pretty great ways of coping. Um, so let's see, how do you protect yourself? You have 10 of Swords. So it could be that you protect yourself by overthinking and recognizing that there's no more thinking to be done, that there's no going back. 10 of Swords is pretty much hitting rock bottom, um, and recognizing there is a new dawn ahead and that the worst is over. So here, it could be, for the Ten of Swords, it's something where, yeah, it's a problem that is just not a problem because it can't be solved. It's dead and done. But also, there could be a sense of recognizing who to trust going forward, who to kind of commit to going forward and be vulnerable with. So, let's see, how do you move on? You have the alignment. So, this is a unique card to the deck. It's the alignment of the sun, the moon, and the earth. And this card really kind of talks about um, the different energies involved. The sun is supposed to be like, you know, positive energy where it illuminates and there's a sense of joy and clarity. With the moon, it's a sense of, you know, you can't see as well. It's not as clear. There's a sense of fear that gets evoked when you are, um, where your sight is kind of clouded and you don't know what senses to rely on. And then, Earth is just living our material lives day to day and kind of recognizing that you have to have a balance. There's like a balance between light and dark. There's um, there's nothing that's perfect. You can basically just manage um, the factors that are there. So here you move on by recognizing that you just have to deal and that there's things serve a purpose. And it seems like perhaps you have learned that this experience served a purpose. And, for some of you, if this was a pet, it's almost as if it taught you how to care about something. And it taught you about loss. It taught you about um, loving something so much and, you know, still needing to thrive even though they're not in your life anymore. And I guess, the same goes for if this was a significant other that kind of went on their own path. You're still recognizing that everyone has a sense of, light and dark, and that you have to pull the energies from, wherever you need in that point in time. Sometimes the moon energy, having a sense of um, confusion is beneficial. It helps you figure out potential solutions to, something. Helps you to use your imagination. It helps you to learn something that maybe you wouldn't have learned if the sun was just brightly shining on the clear answer. There's that idea that someone can tell you how to do something, but you really have to go through the steps yourself for you to truly understand it. Um, and here it seems like you are moving on in a great way. So let's see, how does this turn out for the better? You have Ace of Wands. This is about, getting new energy, a new spark for life, um, and really motivated to make every moment count, the way that you want. So you have really great cards here, really good energy. Even though you have the Ten of Swords and the Nine of Swords, it's as if, this here, this Ten of Swords is basically you needing to go through this experience in order to see the new day ahead. What's interesting, the traditional Ten of Swords, it's happening at night. There's the body on the ground, and you can see like the sun peeking out on the horizon. And, here you have the alignment where it's both day and night, and this is how you move on. So these are pretty good cards. You're doing pretty well. I have to say, compared to the other piles, this is the best one so far in terms of being able to move forward and not have these be a card of pain or some other negative card. So this seems like this is truly you being confident and pursuing what you want to pursue in life. So I'm just going to take a couple of oracle cards. This one is about healing and what to, seems like you're doing good, but something to keep focusing and healing on. Yep, overcoming fear. I will transcend every loss. And you are. You are pretty much accepting it, and this sense of fear right here, Nine of Swords, this is about fear and anxiety. So this is something to still kind of work on. And to some degree, it could just be, you lost something you thought was good before. Is that going to happen again? It's kind of like thinking, what if I, I don't know. What if I get hit by a car at the grocery store type of thing. Or my loved one gets hit by a car and they're gone. So I don't know if that's the kind of thing, but it could be a sense of it's really something outside your control that you can work on just a little bit more. But you're doing great. And I'm going to pull one final card to see which keeper of the light can really guide you as you Ace of Wands your way forward. You have Lady Venus, downloads and understanding. Truth is being revealed. Deep insights are coming from heaven and the astral realm. So Lady Venus is Venus is associated with the Empress card. On the traditional Empress card, there's I think it's a shield with a heart on it. But basically a sense of, abundance, a sense of creating potential for your future. And this truth being revealed, you are going to be able to really face a lot of things, including this fear that you have. So I'm hoping this provides you with a helpful perspective, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.